Looks like our government is getting us pretty upset and concerned about the swine flu. This is interesting to me, not only for political reasons, but also as a physician. It makes me think back to 1976, the first year I served in the Congress. We had a vote on the swine flu. Back then, there was a panic, and they said it was going to sweep the nation, and they rapidly came up with some flu shots, and the government was going to inoculate everybody and save the world from this disaster. And I remember there were 2 votes against it, myself and Larry McDonald, another physician. It turned out, though, that our instincts were correct. Not only did we object to it because we didn't think the government should be in the medical business and making these medical decisions, but it turned out that the instincts were absolutely right because the flu came and the flu went and 1 person died, except for those individuals who died from getting the flu vaccine. And over 25 people died just from getting the vaccine, and many got ill from it until finally they had to suspend the whole program. But here we are once again, the swine flu coming up, and everybody's panicking. And this is not to downplay the seriousness. Some people have died, some people might die yet. We have had no deaths in this country, but there's 7 or 8 cases up in New York. None have even been hospitalized. And yet it's practically like we've been attacked by nuclear weapons. I mean, press conference over the weekend, prime item for the Department of Homeland Security. How did the Department of Homeland Security get into the medical business? You know, it just is totally out of control on what they think we should do. But, you know, trying to put this in a perspective, I checked to find out how many cases of tuberculosis we had last year. We had about 13,000 cases of tuberculosis. Now, that's a serious disease. And also, the last time they recorded the number of deaths in this country was in 2006, and there were 644 deaths from tuberculosis. Now, I hate to even bring that subject up to try to put this in a proper perspective, because maybe tomorrow they're going to quarantine everybody in the world coming into this country to watch out for tuberculosis. And all these things are very serious. The big question is, does a bigger government always solve these problems? They usually make things much worse. So all I'm asking people to do is step back and think for a minute rather than rushing and panicking and taking advantage of opportunities like this. This is what happens, whether they're economic problems or medical problems. The people who love big government take advantage of this. And in the Department of Homeland Security, she's really not acting outside the prerogatives of that department. And one of the reasons I voted against it, it's an open-door invitation to deal with medical problems. And, of course, the way I see medical care in this country is deteriorating and the costs are skyrocketing, mainly because we have had central economic planning in medicine now for 30-some years. It hasn't worked very well, so now we're about to embark on socialized medicine. But I just don't think that we need the government in this manner dealing with this problem in a hysterical manner. We ought to just sit back and think about it for a minute, and maybe we'll come to our senses. But certainly it isn't a responsibility of the Department of Homeland Security, even though technically they might have the authority. That, to me, is not something that should be turned over to that department. That is the medical care of this country.